Here's the important question. Should you use the SQL Data Source Control at all? Well, there are issues. Using the SQL Data Source Control means that all the data logic you have is embedded within your pages. You saw me set up connections and commands in each data source, and all that logic is buried in each individual page where you use the control. SQL Data Source controls end up everywhere. If the schema of your database changes, you have to visit each page that uses the control and fix up the configuration of each individual data source. Maintenance really becomes a big problem in a distributed application that uses the SQL Data Source Control. Code that should be consolidated ends up all over the place in each of your pages, and this is a maintenance nightmare. So if you're building a small application or a demo, as I'm working on here, with just a couple of pages, sure, the SQL Data Source is the best tool you're going to find for quickly building applications. On the other hand, the Object Data Source and the Linked Data Source controls alleviate some of these concerns. Both of these bind to data objects, that is, classes that expose data. So all the work, all the code, all the logic of the data is encapsulated in a class, or classes, that could exist within an external assembly somewhere. Both of these controls are similar to the SQL Data Source control, so you don't have to relearn what you already know. But you will have to spend a little time setting up the data classes. We'll start by investigating the Object Data Source control in the next section, and then move on to working with the Linked Data Source control.